Once upon a time, there was a bronze turkey named Tom who lived on a farm with his friends. Tom was a very adventurous turkey and was always getting into mischief. One day, while exploring the farm, Tom stumbled upon a shiny object that caught his eye. It was a bronze statue of a turkey, just like him. Excited about his discovery, Tom started to strut around the statue, admiring its shiny bronze feathers. He even started to talk to the statue, thinking it was a real turkey. Of course, the statue didn't talk back, but Tom didn't seem to notice. Tom spent hours with the statue, admiring its beauty and telling it all about his adventures on the farm. Little did Tom know, the statue wasn't just any ordinary statue. It was actually a decoy used by the farmer to scare away predators.
As the sun began to set, Tom said goodbye to his new friend and headed back to the coop. But as he walked away, the statue suddenly fell over with a loud clunk, startling Tom.
Confused and a little frightened, Tom cautiously approached the fallen statue. But as he got closer, he realized his mistake. It wasn't a real turkey after all, it was just a decoy. Tom couldn't help but laugh at himself. He had spent hours talking to a statue that couldn't hear him. But he also felt relieved that there wasn't a predator lurking around the farm. From that day on, Tom made sure to double-check his surroundings before getting too comfortable. The next day, Tom couldn't help but share his embarrassing experience with his turkey friends. They all laughed and teased him, but Tom took it in good humor. He knew he had been foolish, but he also knew that his adventurous spirit was what made him unique.
As the day went on, Tom and his friends went about their usual business on the farm. They pecked at the ground for food, took dust baths to clean their feathers, and explored the fields for new adventures.
But as the sun began to set, something strange happened. Tom's feathers started to turn a strange shade of green, and his friends looked at him in confusion. They had never seen a turkey with green feathers before. At first, Tom thought it was some kind of magic spell, but then he remembered something he had done earlier in the day. While exploring the fields, he had stumbled upon a patch of wild herbs and decided to try them out. He had no idea what they were, but they looked delicious, so he ate them all. Tom's friends couldn't stop laughing as they realized that the herbs had stained his feathers green. Tom felt a little embarrassed at first, but then he started to laugh too. He looked ridiculous, but he didn't care, he was having too much fun. And so, Tom spent the rest of the evening strutting around the farm with his new green feathers, feeling like the most unique turkey in the world. His friends may have teased him, but they also admired his spirit of adventure and his ability to laugh at himself. Little did Tom know, his adventures were far from over. As the days went on, he would find himself in even more humorous situations, each one making him more lovable and memorable than the last. As the days turned into weeks, Tom's green feathers eventually faded back to their usual bronze color, but his adventurous spirit never faded. One day, Tom and his friends were taking a stroll through the farm when they heard a strange noise. It sounded like a faint clucking, but it was coming from an area of the farm they had never explored before.
Curious, Tom led the way towards the sound. As they got closer, the clucking grew louder, and they realized it was coming from behind a large stack of hay bales.
Tom bravely approached the hay bales, his friends following closely behind. As he peeked behind them, he saw the source of the noise, a group of baby chicks. Tom's heart swelled with love for the tiny creatures. He knew how vulnerable baby chicks could be on a farm, so he decided to take it upon himself to protect them. From that day on, Tom made it his mission to keep a watchful eye over the baby chicks. He would strut around their co-op, keeping them safe from any potential predators. And when it was time for them to take their first steps outside, Tom was right there, showing them the ropes. Tom's friends couldn't believe how caring and protective he had become. They had always known he was a fun-loving turkey, but they had never seen this side of him before. As the baby chicks grew older and more independent, Tom continued to keep a watchful eye over them, but he also started to explore the farm once again. And every time he stumbled into a new adventure, he would come back to the baby chicks, clucking and strutting proudly, eager to share his tales of excitement. Tom had found his purpose on the farm, and his friends couldn't be happier for him. They knew that no matter what crazy situation he found himself in, he would always come back to protect the ones he loved. One day, as Tom was leading his baby chick friends on a walk around the farm, he noticed a commotion in the distance. Curious as ever, he led the group towards the noise. As they got closer, they saw a group of wild turkeys, led by a large, imposing male. The wild turkeys had been causing trouble on the farm, stealing food from the other animals and damaging crops. Tom knew he had to do something to protect his home and his friends. So, he bravely approached the wild turkey leader, determined to show him who was boss. At first, the wild turkey leader didn't take Tom seriously. He thought Tom was just a small, domestic turkey, and that he and his friends were an easy target. But Tom wasn't about to back down. With a loud, authoritative gobble, Tom stood his ground, fluffing up his feathers to make himself look bigger. The wild turkey leader was taken aback by Tom's confidence and started to back away. Encouraged by his success, Tom continued to strut towards the wild turkeys, his friends following closely behind. And to everyone's surprise, the wild turkeys eventually retreated, ceding the farm back to Tom and his friends. Tom's bravery and leadership had saved the day, and the other animals on the farm looked at him with newfound respect. From that day on, Tom was known as the protector of the farm, the fearless turkey who would stop at nothing to keep his home and his friends safe. Tom continued to lead a life filled with adventure and laughter, but he also knew when it was time to be serious and protect the ones he loved. He had found his purpose on the farm, and he was proud of the turkey he had become. Despite his newfound reputation as the protector of the farm, Tom never lost his sense of humor. He would still find himself in funny situations from time to time, and his friends would always be there to laugh and tease him about it. One day, Tom was exploring the farm when he stumbled upon a pile of corn cobs. As he pecked at them, he suddenly felt something strange in his beak. It was a kernel of corn stuck between his teeth.
Tom tried to shake the kernel loose, but it was no use. It was stuck fast, and it was starting to make him feel uncomfortable.
Determined to get rid of the kernel, Tom came up with a plan. He decided to go for a swim in the nearby pond, hoping that the water would loosen the kernel and wash it away. But as he dived into the pond, he quickly realized his mistake. The water was freezing cold, and he was not a strong swimmer. He flailed around, trying to stay afloat, but the kernel of corn was still stuck between his teeth. Tom's friends had been watching from the sidelines, and they couldn't help but burst out laughing at his predicament. They tried to help him, but they were laughing too hard to be of much use.
Eventually, Tom managed to swim back to shore, shivering and soaked to the bone. But to everyone's surprise, the kernel of corn had finally been dislodged.
Tom looked at his friends, a little embarrassed but still smiling. "I guess I'll have to be more careful next time," he said, before shaking his feathers and strutting off to explore the farm once again. Tom's friends couldn't help but admire his bravery and his sense of humor, even in the face of embarrassing situations. They knew that no matter what happened, Tom would always be there to bring laughter and joy to their lives. As the seasons changed, Tom's adventures on the farm continued. He explored every corner of the property, from the fields to the barn to the pond. And wherever he went, his friends were never far behind. One day, as they were wandering through the fields, they came across a group of cows who were lazily grazing on the grass. Tom was curious about these strange creatures, so he strutted up to them and introduced himself. To Tom's surprise, the cows didn't seem interested in talking to him. They just continued to munch on the grass, ignoring him completely. But Tom was not one to be discouraged easily. He kept trying to strike up a conversation with the cows, hoping to make some new friends. Finally, one of the cows looked up and spoke. "You're a strange-looking turkey," she said, eyeing Tom's bright green feathers. "What kind of turkey are you?"
Tom puffed out his chest proudly. "I'm a bronze turkey," he said. "The best kind of turkey there is."
The cows just looked at him skeptically, but Tom was undeterred. He kept chatting with them, telling them stories about his adventures on the farm and making them laugh with his silly antics. By the end of the day, the cows had warmed up to Tom, and they even invited him to graze with them. Tom felt proud to have made new friends, and he strutted back to his coop feeling more confident than ever. Tom's friends were happy for him and couldn't believe how he had managed to befriend the cows, something they never thought was possible. They knew that Tom's fearless spirit and outgoing personality were what made him stand out from the other turkeys on the farm. And so, Tom's reputation as the fun-loving, adventurous turkey who could make friends with anyone continued to grow. His friends couldn't wait to see what he would get up to next. As the years went by, Tom continued to be a beloved member of the farm. He had grown into a strong and confident bird, always eager to explore new places and make new friends. But as much as he loved his life on the farm, Tom knew that there was a big world out there waiting to be discovered. He dreamed of flying to far-off lands and having new adventures. And so, one day, he decided to take the leap. He spread his wings and soared into the sky, leaving the farm and his friends behind. His friends were sad to see him go, but they knew that Tom was meant for great things. They wished him well and hoped that he would find all the adventure and excitement he was looking for. Years went by, and the farm changed. New animals came and went, and the seasons continued to pass. But Tom's memory lived on, a testament to the joy and laughter he had brought to the farm. And even though he was far away, Tom never forgot his friends on the farm. He would often think back to the fun times they had shared and the memories they had made together. And so, in his own way, Tom remained a part of the farm, a symbol of the enduring power of friendship and adventure.